I'd like to introduce a new training aid that baseball coaches can use to help hitters develop into the type of hitters that can be successful in games. One of the big problems in practice with pitching machines is it's always been one speed, so hitters can get good at a pitching machine, but that doesn't transfer into a game. So priority number one is this is a changeup machine by JUGS that allows a coach to change speeds from one pitch to the next, so that a hitter is not only being trained to hit a baseball effectively, but he's being trained to adjust from hard pitches to softer pitches and then back again, because that's exactly how pitchers get hitters out. The deception is not just the height that the hitter's not ready for. Is it up in the zone? Is it down in the zone? Is it in and out? Because pitchers use those techniques to try to get to a hitter's weakness. But the number one problem for most young hitters and hitters as they advance in baseball is their inability to adjust to a pitcher changing speeds every pitch. That's why in the past, the only way you can effectively work on that is to have effective batting practice pitchers throwing. Right now, this machine is going to allow, with the switch of a button, to move from 60 miles an hour to 50 miles an hour, and at this distance simulate a real game speed pitcher and how pitchers effectively use off speed to get hitters to slow down their swings. So what I'd like to show are a couple drills right now where this machine can simulate exactly the challenges that hitters are going to face in a game, and in practice we can do a lot better job getting our kids ready to be effective in games. The first drill that I would use with hitters is to just start with a guy getting in the box and he knows what pitch is coming, and we're working on getting our foot down early, getting timed, and hitting a fastball. As soon as we get a feel for the fastball, we're going to just completely throw 100% changeups. The key thing we're looking for is delay your load, delay your land. Make sure that you have the same bat speed through the changeup as you do the fastball. So that's what we're going to do right now. So the next 4 or 5 pitches are going to be fastballs. Okay, we're looking good, we're looking comfortable on the fastball. Now we're going to switch it to a changeup. Now we're just going to make sure that when we're looking changeup, we're getting it timed right and we're having the same bat speed through the changeup. Okay, one key point to work on right here that is an important follow-up. I would always suggest that the first off-speed pitch that a hitter sees, he takes, because there's literally no chance of making that adjustment without visually seeing it once. So our hitter right there took that first changeup, and then he got on the next couple, and I'd say we're pretty good for that drill. Just one thing, make sure your lift is just a hair earlier. Just make sure you load a little earlier. Okay? Even earlier still. There you go. Okay. What this is gonna give us is an opportunity to just strictly focus on fastball, get consistently good ones, and make sure that the adjustment is, most of the time when a guy's late on a fastball, he's loading a little bit late, he's landing a little bit late. We just need to speed up those two things and get the bat to the front of the plate. So now we'll move to changeups.
Good pitch.
Okay, one thing that's important is sometimes you just don't say anything and you give the person enough reps that they can make those adjustments on their own. When you're looking change up, you load a little bit later, you land a little bit later, and you're always kind of thinking, unless the ball's in, I want to drive the ball up the middle, up the middle, up the middle, opposite way on off-speed pitches. Next hitter. Okay, we figured out after a couple pitches, we are on the fastball, foot's coming up in time, foot's getting down on time, we're nice and squaring it up. Now we would want to go to change up and make sure we see exactly that same swing with the off-speed pitch. Okay, one thing you noticed, actually a couple things. There's a reason pitchers slow down. It's because if a hitter early in a count is swinging at an off-speed pitch off a fastball, you're probably going to have it poorly timed. You need to see the pitch a few times, and if you noticed, after a couple miss hits, we squared a couple up. But it's always a good idea early in a count, first off-speed pitch you see, look at it. If it's not a strike, look at the next one, and don't even try to hit that pitch until you've seen a couple, because even on the machine, knowing it's coming, it's hard to do. Next. For our second drill, we're going to work on having a hitter deal with the challenge that pitchers often bring to the table and get hitters out. As soon as we square up a fastball, an off-speed pitch or a change of speed pitch should be coming unless the pitcher doesn't know how to throw. And then as soon as a guy looks good on off-speed, it's going to go back up to a fastball. So right now, this drill and the dial settings that we're into right now is the fastball is 60 miles an hour, but from this distance, it's probably simulating low to mid 80s. Our fastballs are approximately low to mid 80s, set at 60, and then the changeup is going to be at 50, which means you've got a low to mid 80s fastball and about a 70 mile an hour changeup, which is a perfect speed differential to really give the hitter the challenge of a game. So this drill right now, our hitter's going to start, he's going to square up a fastball. As soon as he does, the next pitch is going to be a changeup, and a good hitter is anticipating that. It's almost impossible to hit good pitching unless you're guessing. So this is just teaching a hitter. You square up or look good on a fastball, expect off speed the next pitch, and we're going to work on that skill right now. So we'll start with a fastball. We're going to stay with the fastball right now because we didn't get it. Stay with the fastball. He's on it. Change of speed coming right now. If I'm controlling the machine, as soon as he squares a fastball, here comes off speed. And we squared it pretty good. Here comes another off speed. Okay? There is no reason that we have a training aid like this that we can't teach our kids to think like pitchers so that after they score up a fastball, they're guessing off speed, prepared for off speed, and then they practice hitting it. Let's go one more time. Change up. He's on the changeup. We're going to go back to a fastball right now. And he's starting to think like a pitcher, and it gives him a much higher probability of being able to hit good pitching. And if we don't practice this, they're not going to get any good at it. Next hitter. We're trying to simulate a real at bat. We are looking fastball early, and we get our fastball. We want to be able to light it up. Okay, we'll stay with the fastball. We'll stay with the fastball. Squared it up pretty good. We want to go to a changeup right now. Looks like he's getting on the fastball. He's on the changeup. We'll go back to a fastball. We'll stay with that one. We go back to a changeup. Okay, he's squaring both of them up pretty good. We're going to have a challenge here. That's a good job. The third drill is going to be the toughest for a hitter, and it's going to be something that I've had a real hard time getting kids enough practice. And this machine is going to allow us to become halfway decent at being a two-strike hitter. As soon as a pitcher gets to 2 strikes, especially when he's up in the count, 1-2, 2-2, 85% of the time they throw away. And they throw away because most hitters don't stay connected, stay on the ball, keep their hands close, and actually know how to hit a ball opposite way. So just throwing on the outside half can get a guy out. This machine is going to allow us to endlessly work not only on the outside half of the plate, but on the change of speeds that are going to happen with 2 strikes. Because the ultimate challenge of hitting is with 2 strikes, we choke up a little bit on the bat, and it's getting hitters to think, I'm looking hard away, but I've got to adjust to a softer pitch, otherwise I'm going to strike out. I'm going to be an out. So this drill, we're going to be looking hard away, but we're going to have to be ready for any pitch. The key is this: you don't look for a changeup. You can't look for slow, because if you do, a fastball's by you. You got to be a good enough hitter to think fastball, keep your hands back, wait, and still go opposite way on off speed, and this drill is going to allow it to happen. So we're going to vary speeds. Hitter is not knowing what's coming, and we're simply going to work on staying alive and hitting opposite way with 2 strikes. So our hitter's up on the bat a little bit, and he's thinking away, adjusting in. Stays alive with a foul ball. Okay, he's on top of an up and out pitch, which is an ideal swing. And somehow or other, he was still able to stay on the changeup. He stayed on the changeup. Stayed hard away. In the span of 1 minute, we got about 9 or 10 actual game-like pitches where the speed is changing and the hitter is having to think outside, think hard away, adjust to off speed, and stay alive. And that session right there is probably more practice than guys get in a month. He just got it in a minute. Next guy. I mean, holy cow, man. Did you get it out? Was that a changeup or fastball?
That's a changeup.
But guys, just hitters for your own sake, if I'm thinking I'm looking hard away and I'm thinking up and out, if you can handle an up and out pitch, that's why I love your high tees. If you can handle up and out, a changeup that isn't ideally situated, you don't even have to think about it, you react to it. That's what you set for, and then those just naturally happen if you get enough practice. Okay? So I'm first of all looking to see, can we actually hit the ball on the outside half of the plate that way, up the middle to that way? And the other thing the problem I'm going to create is with this remote, I'm going to be able to change speeds anytime I want. He doesn't know, and we're really creating the problem of 2-strike hitting with this. So here we go. Ball's away. We're choked up a little bit. 2-strike hitter. Okay, immediately threw a changeup and we got a rollover, which I'm liking. I'm liking as a defensive coach, not an offensive coach. Does a beautiful job right there putting the double down the line on a changeup, which is really good hitting. He's got to keep staying with the two-strike approach. Here we go. And here's the deal. Often, if you're looking off speed, the fastball comes and it's by you. So keep thinking hard away, adjust with the changeup. Okay, this is a legitimate hitting challenge. Just stay in there, keep thinking hard away and adjust. That's a nice job of fighting off a tough pitch that's up and out. That's a great job right there with an up and out pitch. And he stayed with that. The interesting thing is this is about, what, a minute and a half? And he's already had about 14 or 15 efforts at hard away, soft away. He doesn't know what's coming. If we kept doing this with a good young hitter, in a week, this guy's going to look good in this drill. And if he can handle this drill, he can handle anything. In conclusion, the opportunity that this remote and this machine offers is actually amazing. Our players won't know what they haven't been taught well and haven't done enough. I mean, it's as simple as that. Us explaining a concept like, well, you got to look away and you got to adjust off speed, that's a nice idea, but the only way to get good at it is to have quality repetitions and quantities of the repetitions. This machine allows me to actually bring a kid out, work through frustration, talk a little bit about fundies, but mainly give their athleticism a chance to adjust to the ball game as it's really played. So this machine is going to give us an excellent opportunity as coaches to truly prepare our kids to be successful, and that's why we come out. And often we simply don't have the training aids or the number of arms needed to give our kids the repetitions to be really good players. So with as much enthusiasm as I can endorse something, you should buy this. I'm certainly going to start using it tomorrow.